Okay, so this was Grace's English lesson.
Greatest name ever.
I know, I love her. I can't say her just her first name, I gotta say her whole name.
I don't know for the video purposes or for
I
the
know.
audience, but it's the greatest
I
name
know.
ever.
So Grace, she knows English is a weakness for her.
Mm-hmm.
So doing it by herself, this is another individual lesson, I think was good for her. Like she's one that I think intervention and maybe her meeting with the interventionist could be of huge benefit to her. So we started the lesson off with reviewing what happened in the book so far, because she was finishing the book. So the first, I think it was like 11 chapters, we played a quizzes game.
Right.
So she was up on the big board,
Right.
which she loved. She just wasn't doing that on her computer. She was up at the big box light, touching the answers. And then once she did well on that, so she remembered a lot of those key ideas, which is great because I know her memory is not her strong suit. Then we moved on to the last chapter. So I would stop, I played the audiobook up on the screen, and I stopped the audiobook when we heard a vocabulary word. But before that, we did go over what the vocabulary words were, so that she knew what words to listen for. But I would pause it, reread the sentence to her, and then say, using context clues, like, what do you think this means? And if there was a word that didn't make sense, the meaning that didn't make sense with the book, I would put that meaning in the book for the word and be like, does that make sense? And she would say no, and then she would try again then at that point. I think she did decent with that. I wanna say she got 3 wrong, I believe, 3 out of 9.
Okay.
3 or 4 out of 9 wrong. So she got more than 50% right, which was great. I mean, I think, you know, the book was what she was reading in her English class. So understanding the vocabulary words, I think improved her comprehension, because she's the type of kid that she'll read it and be like, yeah, I get it, but she's not getting it.
She's not getting it.
She's not getting it.
She's definitely a student that is going to be, she would benefit from a multi-tiered system of support. She
Absolutely.
definitely would work better with like some sort of a tiered intervention program with ILA. And we already know that she does have like vocabulary comprehension, you know, detriments coming in.
Right.
So I think in the way that you were trying to support and the way you were trying to basically bring that lesson to life, you know, where you had, she was up at the, you know, the box light board and, you know, then she was back down using the context clues. I mean, like you're teaching, the skills that you are teaching are absolutely correct. Like you're given the what do you call it? You're, you know, giving her that, you know, look at what the words are going to be, you know, you're exposing her to the vocabulary. But then you're also showing her how to use the context clues. And that's not going to be an easy thing with this student.
No,
because she knows where to look, but it's still the comprehension of it. It's still making all those connections. And that's why I think, and we talked about this, that this student in particular would be a really good candidate, you know, to be in, you know, some sort of a, you know, the intervention program that we have here. She probably should be, even with the information that you have right now, we probably could do an RFA on her and get her, you know, start getting her in the process of it.
Right.
But she definitely would be, you know, a good candidate. And it's one of those things though, like she has everything where she needs it. She's just got to learn how to put it together.
Yeah. And I think the repetition for her is important. So like the next thing I would do is the same author. The author likes to use a lot of the same vocabulary words in multiple books, but he also uses like new vocabulary words too. So like The Outsiders is written by the same author. So maybe having her read that one, kind of refreshing her on those vocabulary words that we went over, and then seeing if she can make sense of the chapter using the vocabulary she already knows, but then continuing it with new vocabulary words too, would probably be like a nice next step for her. But again, doing it one-on-one is going to be better, I think, than doing it as a whole class.
Yeah.
Because her being in the ICR setting, there's so many kids in that room and the pace is moving fast that she's not going to be able to get that one-on-one vocabulary help that she needs.
And this is where, when we were discussing that, if she had that tiered support system, then even in a larger class setting, at least she would have the strategies that she could use. used.
Yeah.
So I'm not, not saying that like the larger class setting is gonna be very comfortable for her in that, but at least we start giving her all those different strategies that can be used, it might make things a little easier,
Yes.
In it, but definitely needs to be, continue to be checked in during a lesson.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, for sure.
So I'm good with that one.